I'm so embarrassed my husband threw a bagel he was eating at the back of my head in public. We are still arguing about him refusing to babysit our 3-year-old son last night so I could attend my staff party. Our son woke up twice last night randomly and honestly he wouldn't have known what to do. Instead, I spent the whole night convincing internet strangers he's just an ass. Although he has been violent the past, it's been a few months and he's been good. This morning, we were walking from his truck to the grocery store and he was screaming at me, so I walked ahead. And that's when he, as hard as he could, throws the bagel he's eating at my head and people saw it didn't hurt. But I was more pissed off that there's cream cheese in my hair and I'm so embarrassed that people saw. One man even followed us around the store for a minute. His response was that I deserved it and it was only a bagel, but I'm thinking to myself, this counts as him breaking his no violence spree, right? He says no. His no violence spree? WTAF, get out. Get out now and stay out before we see your blurry Facebook photo on the front page of local news beside his mugshot. Please. Edit also when, not if, when he finally does get you, what do you think he will do to your son who he doesn't want to take care of? Really let that sink in, love. What will happen to him then? Today it's a bagel, tomorrow it's a brick. Although he has been violent the past, it's been a few months and he's been good. Read that again. You are not safe with this man. If you cannot trust him to care for your child, you need to leave. If he throws things at you and screams at you, you need to leave. It's not okay. It's not acceptable behavior. Do you want your son growing up to think this is how it's acceptable for a man to treat his partner? For his father to treat his mother? That this is a loving relationship that he should aspire to? What would you do if you saw your friend walking away from their screaming husband and he threw a bagel at her head out of rage? You'd probably think, wow, that guy's fucking crazy, she needs to get out. That's what you need to do. Yes, he's broken the no violence streak. Where the fuck is he getting off babysitting his own fucking child? You don't babysit your own child, you parent them. I could forgive throwing a bagel at me, but thinking he's babysitting his own fucking offspring is below the lowest. Dude needs a fucking reality check. And he needs to grow up and start being a fucking dad to his kid. I'm so mad. He's showing you that he could hurt you if he feels like it. His behavior is escalating and he's already got you believing it's your fault. You need to get away from him. Protect your child and leave. The hell? Don't you think you and your kid deserve better than someone who doesn't expect you to start the countdown over again and again between their acts of aggression? Ooh, how many months can he go this time? And your son is going to be watching and learning. Will his future partners be on Reddit one day asking if it was a big deal that he got violent with them? What the actual fuck? Dump that piece of shit ASAP for your and your son's safety. Holy shit. Get away from this creature. He will kill you and or your son one day. Run. My ex threw a water bottle at my face because I had earbuds in and didn't hear him ask me to bring him a pillow. Another time he threw his shoe at me in front of his friend and then accused me of cheating with that friend because he defended me. There's much better out there, I promise. This will only escalate. If that's what he's willing to do in public. Yikes. WTF, run away. Like I've had intrusive thoughts like what if I dump my glass of water on my spouse, but would never do anything like that. Also sounds like you're a single parent already. OP, your husband is an abusive man and is abusing you. You and your child are not safe with this man in your lives. You are endangering yourself and your child by allowing this abusive POS in your life. Abusers do not change. They abuse because they want to abuse. Keep this abusive man out of your life. You're kidding, right? You are with an abuser and you've numbed yourself into thinking it's normal way of being. Your husband is an abusive piece of shit. What is allowed will continue. The man following you should have been the clue that that was not normal and you should be concerned for your safety because he obviously was. Leave him, please. You don't need to convince him of anything. You know in your heart this is wrong and that's enough. Get out. The fuck? You have a child and think this is how they should grow up thinking a relationship works? How are you even questioning some weird no-violence spree? Like I wouldn't even be with someone that needed to have that, let alone a child there. I would let my cat stay around a person like that. Parents who babysit their own children are being shitty. People who shame or insult their partner in public are being shitty and are being, or are headed towards being, abusive. People who throw things in anger are being shitty and on their way to being dangerous. You are correct. That was violence. Trust doesn't work on technicalities like it was a pillow not a knife. It took my ex 6 months to go from throwing pillows to knives, and 10 months to go from punching walls to punching people. You're in danger and you know it. Babysit his kid. What a piece of shit. Get out. Today it's a bagel, tomorrow a brick. You know who throws things at people? Toddlers. Toddlers with no control of their emotions. Get away from this man-child. This might hurt your feelings, but you need to hear it. If you keep sticking around this loser, you're letting your son go through abuse as well and will get him taken away. Be smart. This sounds like you're looking for your excuse to leave. You feel bad leaving when his behavior has been comparatively good. But you know exactly how bad it was in the past and you already know you don't deserve to be treated this way. You don't need to find that excuse. You already have it. He was already violent. So he has been violent in the past. And yes, this is violence again. He has so little control he behaves like this in public. You are not safe with this man. Your children deserve to grow up in a safe home. Please leave him. I'm thinking to myself, this counts as him breaking his no-violence spree, right? Hey, so that the best way to avoid him breaking his no-violence spree is to get the fuck out if at all possible. Nobody who commits violence will ever be bound by some kind of pledge to not commit violence. You are in danger. I know you want to brush this aside or tell yourself you don't know him like I do, but you and your son are in danger. This man-child is going to kill you. Kick him to the curb while you still can. Love yourself enough to leave him. Please. Screaming at you in public is abuse. Throwing things at you is abuse. Telling you that you deserve the abuse is abuse. Step out of your own shoes for a second and consider this: a complete stranger was so worried about you that he followed you around in public to make sure you were okay. That isn't normal behavior. When people argue in public, people might stare, but most will give them their space. This guy was too worried to give you space or just stare and be nosy. There is no getting better. It will only get worse. Please get out now while he's only throwing bagels. Your normal meter is crazy broken. Don't let your sons be messed up too. Sometimes you don't realize you're in an abusive relationship until you leave. My sister told me to leave before he had the chance to get physically abusive, but I hadn't told her he had already started. Being a single parent is hard, but it's even harder being a single parent with an absent partner. At least you only have to worry about one adult when you're away from him. My son's dad's family told me after I left that he had to be stopped from beating up an ex, 2 women before me. He had some sort of restraining order issues with the ex after that one. It's a pattern they won't break. This is violence. Throwing anything in anger regardless of the trajectory, speed, projectile, or target is violence. Do you have a go bag and some cash? I would remove yourself and your son from this person's access as soon as you safely can. This isn't about winning an argument or making a point anymore. This is about preserving your safety.